Hey everybody, it's been a while since I've wanted to do a review on an IQ album. Well, I finally did it. Here's my review for The Seventh House.
I have always dreamed that somewhere in your heart there's a guiding light still shines for our lives and times we should have spent together, but we passed each other by like seasons out of time.
Now, for those of you that aren't really familiar with IQ, they are a neo-progressive group and they are very consistent in the music that they make. They've always been one of those groups that is capable of creating and delivering tasty, touching, and memorable melodies and some of the best musical statements I've ever heard. The Seventh House came out almost 4 years after IQ's previous studio album, which was the critically acclaimed album called Subterranea, which is also a concept album. I love concepts albums. If you haven't heard it, check it out. It's a great album as well. And the Seventh House kind of combines stuff from Subterranea styles as well from the album that came before Subterranean called Ever. They've kind of combined elements and made their own hybrid of the two albums. Alright, let's dive into the track list now, shall we? The first song on the album is called The Wrong Side of Weird. This song opens with some of the most awesome, but at the same time, some of the most bizarre keyboard work I've ever heard on an album. I haven't heard anything quite like it since, and I may not. It's really quirky, but really unique and really quite neat as well. The vocals on this song are very soulful. It's not so much a slow, soulful song, but you really hear the emotion in the singer's voice, which he's very gifted at. Peter Nichols is his name. And this song, you really, really hear his passion. This song also has many, many tasty melodies. The time changes in the song flow seamlessly into another. You know, you get with some prog songs that sound like there's three different parts to it or three different definite sections. This album you don't, even though there are a lot of different elements to it, they just flow seamlessly together. Reminds me a lot of Gazpacho's work on some of their earlier stuff, being the seamless part of it for sure. And I would have to bet dollars to cents that this is one of the best compositions that IQ has ever written. That wasn't bad. Take a break. Thanks, yet. All right. Track 2 is a song called Erosion. And once again, the keyboard work on the song is amazing and really stands out. The intro on this song I would have to describe as, for lack of better words, heavenly. And it is simply stunning to listen to. The song is again seamless, like I was mentioning on The Wrong Side of Weird. It seems like it all fit like a puzzle. You also hear a little bit more of the common rock elements in this song as well. It's kind of steers towards that way, and maybe a little less of the proggy feel, but more of your just generic rock, which is a little bit of a nice change. I know sometimes prog albums can get a little bit too much to listen to some listeners because they go all over the place. And this one kind of would be a good one to maybe introduce the group to somebody to. Once again, the vocals in this song are very emotive, and the music is very complimenting of that. And one last thing to say about Erosion is that on one hand you have a very hauntingly beautiful piece of music, and on the other hand you have a very, very dark and atmospheric piece of music. IQ is very capable of combining those two songs and making it into a hybrid, and that's what you get with Erosion. Now, track 3 we go on to is, of course, the title track called The Seventh House. This song starts out with some very gentle acoustic guitar, and it sets up what I call IQ's vivid scenery about storytelling, both lyrically and musically. It's a gift they have. They can combine, the music and the lyrics, and it takes you to a place, almost a fantasy world in your head, and you are instantly there in the song, much like reading a book would be a great way to describe it. As I said before, this song and songs on this album, and this song especially, are structurally so perfect that you take a song, especially this title track, because it is a lengthy song, but it doesn't feel like that. It goes by in no time, and that to me is a trick in itself. It never gets old. You never lose interest in it, and I think some music in the prog scene has a tendency to maybe lose some listeners, but IQ definitely knows how to keep people listening. This song is very complex and beautiful at the same time. I would have to say the star on this song is vocalist Peter Nichols. His voice shines on this, as it does a lot on this album. He really knows how to bring emotion to the table. If there was an award for that, he would get it consecutively, because if you look at albums, you look at The Road of Bones, and a song called Ocean is another great example. He just conjures up so much feeling that, like the analogy that it's like reading a book. You're instantly with the characters in the story. He does it so well. I did a little bit of research on this song, and it's about two soldiers who survive the horrors of a great war and then meet years later to kind of relive their experiences and get back in touch with each other. It's a beautiful thing, and it has got to be one of IQ's best songs ever. As I alluded to, The Wrong Side of Weird is on that list too. This one is on that list as well. Alright, the fourth track is a song called 0 Hour, and this song has a real interesting feel to it. The star of this song, again, is going to be the keyboard work, and the tones that they use are very deep and they're very well selected. This also showcases guitarist Mike Holmes, who in my opinion is very criminally underrated, and he should get more credit than he deserves. Just listen to the guitar solo at the end of this song and you'll see what I mean. Alright, track 5 is a song called Shooting Angels, and oh my lord, what an intro to this song. Wow, it's mind-blowing. I could just sit there and listen to the beginning constantly, but that would get old, but it's that good. I can't get over the keyboard sounds on this album, and I know it's a cliche, and I probably used it a couple times already, but they sound heavenly, and I can't really think of another way to describe it, but that. It's a great prog rocker. It's much like Erosion. It takes a little more elements from different types of music and throws it in, which is refreshing to hear. And the bass on this song is very tight. And again, it really reminds me of Rush for some reason. I don't know if it's because maybe I've been listening to Rush a little bit lately. I don't know, but I'd like to know what you thought of that. And once again, Mike Holmes plays some very, very tasty lead guitar on this song. Alright, now we have the final track, the 6th track called Guiding Light. This is the most formal ballad on the album, and it certainly works well in that regard. It is a hauntingly beautiful piece about missed opportunities of love. The combination of, again, the piano, the vocals, the drifting synthesizers all work well together. In fact, I would say it's everything that you would expect from IQ, and is pure genius. The reason I like this song so much is because it really starts off, beautiful and gentle, and then it turns into just a real proggy, orgasm of sounds and different directions, etc. And then it comes back and kind of does the slow bit again. And it embodies just about everything that I love about IQ and progressive rock and music in general. It's got some very beautiful passages. It's extremely moving musically. And Peter Nichols, again, this is probably the most emotional sounding his voice has been. This would definitely be the song that you should check out to better understand what I'm saying. So in conclusion, what would I say about the album? Well, I believe it is a really good album and that I think it is appreciated by most IQ fans. I'm sure there's a few out there that maybe aren't so keen on it. I think people who enjoy progressive rock and progressive music in general will take something from this album. It's maybe not quite as got the high moments of Dark Matter or say Road of Bones, but this album is also very consistent and it's less derivative of those two albums. The songwriting on this album is very good. It's obviously done by very capable musicians and songwriters who put a lot of passion into their music, and it really shows on here. And I would say it's worth owning. I wouldn't say it's an essential piece to have in your collection, but those of you who do own it, I think have done the right thing because it is definitely worth owning. All right, guys, I've enjoyed this, and thank you for your time, and we'll see each other soon. And now I'll show you the album here a little bit to show you some of the artwork and what it looks like. And of course, it is a gatefold here, so I'll quickly open that. And you've just got lyrics and a little bit of info there. Here's a really neat one. This is it's a double vinyl. Here's the first album, kind of a neon yellow. And the second one is on a red. So yeah, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I've done preparing for it and showing you a little bit and sharing a little bit of information. Those colors really, by the way, accentuate this album, don't you think? Anyways, I do. Anyways, thanks for your time, guys, and we'll see each other soon. Take care. Bye.